how would you grade the administration so far? I mean,
Is there a grade below an F?
no, not as far as I know.
You want to just don't bow out. You know, you can't get lazy. You have to sign petitions. You have to call your congresspeople, and you know, it's an old song to sing, and it kind of gets laborious to continue to repeat it over and over. I want to be hopeful, and I want to be positive, and I just think we have to constantly really not get lazy about saying no. This is unacceptable. This is not. We can't. Everything is a catastrophe. Every single day is a different news cycle.
Ever wonder what happens when a professional comedian goes after Trump? Chelsea Handler just showed us, and it wasn't pretty for the former president. From comparing his finances to a college kid bragging about daddy's car to calling his supporters the human equivalent of spoiled milk, Handler didn't hold back. And Trump's reaction? Well, that's the best part of this whole story. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Have you ever wondered what happens when America's thinnest politician is targeted by a professional comedian? In addition to making a few jokes about Donald Trump, Chelsea Handler surgically dismantled him. What a joke disguised as a massacre.
Okay, first on my list of favorite things about Trump, syphilis. The New Republic has a theory that Donald Trump may have contracted syphilis in the 1980s, around the time he looked like this. And Melania looked like this. A new president, whose name is Donald Putin Trump, who the majority of Americans think is a huge fucktard. According to WebMD, the symptoms of syphilis are Exhibit A, patchy hair loss. Exhibit B, visual problems and squinting.
Trump's most noticeable characteristic, that distinctive orange glow, is the first thing Handler knows exactly where to strike to cause pain. She cleverly likened him to a human traffic cone, implying that his peculiar skin tone serves as a warning sign to the rest of us rather than merely being a lousy spray tan. I mean, there's clearly a problem when a previous president appears to be cosplaying as a construction barrier. Handler didn't stop there either. When it came to her theory regarding Trump's distinctive coloring, she went full comedic assassin. It was a tragic accident involving a self-tanner factory, an out-of-control leaf blower, and an Oompa Loompa, she said. Not just a bad spray tan.
Syphilis can also make you have paranoid thoughts, like the mainstream media is out to get you, or all Mexicans are rapists, or a black guy wiretapped your deluxe apartment in the sky.
Go home. Bye. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters.
Syphilis can also make you irritable and manic.
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
gonna give you
question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorically?
You are fake.
Take a moment to visualize that tumultuous situation. This was a deliberate jab at Trump's well-known conceit, not just any old joke. Every joke had the audience howling, demonstrating Handler's perfect timing. But really, who wouldn't find the mental picture she conjured up amusing? Her next target was Trump's notorious hair, and she really went for the kill. He had an odd hairdo that she compared to a squirrel caught in a wind tunnel while clutching a family of blonde guinea pigs. It's more than just amusing. That HD image will be permanently ingrained in your mind. Handler's quips were targeted at Trump's biggest insecurity, his appearance, and weren't merely meant to make people laugh. According to reports, this man is often boasting about his appearance and has photos of himself up everywhere. When she asked whether his notorious hair was real,
Trump has declared April Sexual
Harassment
Awareness
Month?
Month.
Oh, you mean Sexual Harassment Month?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's to be debated.
Right, okay.
So do you think he's finally maybe starting to deal with the issues that are at hand?
I mean, I can't even imagine what the circumstances that would have called for them to treat a man like that.
Yeah, terrifying.
Poor guy.
Did you watch that video?
I did. I saw it.
It's traumatizing.
It's really traumatizing, not only for him, for every single person on that plane.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think now is it's so much more important than ever to really be a voice of reason and be a voice of justice and defend people. It's just, there's no price tag on it. I want to be hopeful and I want to be positive, and I just think we have to constantly really not get lazy about saying no, this is unacceptable, this is not, you can't, everything is a catastrophe. Every single day is a different news cycle.
Handler knew exactly which buttons to hit, speculating that it might be an elaborate burden that a very confused bald eagle calls home, where you could hide a family of raccoons. Like, these jokes are brilliant because they combine ridiculousness with just enough reality to stick. We've all seen those strange orange streaks in Trump's photographs. So when Handler joked that his spray tan began to melt in real time, everyone could imagine it occurring. The kindest way to characterize whatever is going on top of his head is probably like a science experiment gone wrong, which is what she said about his hair. Handler's grasp of Trump's psychology, not just her inventiveness, is what makes her roast so powerful. Despite the outcomes, this man apparently devotes hours on his appearance. He is well known for both his peculiar orange color and his intricate hairstyle. Handler was not merely cracking jokes when she attacked these traits so viciously. She was also exposing the brittle ego hiding behind the false tan. The audience's reaction demonstrated how effective her strategy was.
The most impactful thing I've learned is that we're a country that is moving forward and that needs to continue moving forward, and that we cannot move backwards. And that's what Donald Trump represents, and he represents fear and fear-mongering. Gender disparity and racial disparity can't exist any longer, and we have to move forward, and there's only one choice for that to happen, and that's Hillary Clinton. We're experiencing in this country.
I think those writers would like to have been this creative with what we've witnessed in this political cycle.
But it's the same kind of messaging, which is make everybody scared and this is an unsafe place and turning everybody against each other.
The laughing increased in volume with each joke that got more outrageous, generating a feedback loop that encouraged Handler to go farther. This was more than just comedy. It was a demolition job done in the guise of entertainment, methodically dismantling Trump's meticulously crafted persona one piece at a time. Trump's appearance has always been a perplexing paradox. He obviously works very hard at it, yet the results are enough to make people laugh. Handler took full advantage of this, highlighting the discrepancy between Trump's perception of himself and reality through comedy. Her comedy got more devastatingly effective the more she focused on his fears. Handler was just getting started with these warm-up gags about Trump resembling a car crash between a hair shop and a plant that makes hair extensions. She was gaining momentum, laying the groundwork for the eventual real knockout punches just like any great comedian. She started the trend, Trump is very concerned with appearances even if they are ridiculous, before moving on to more in-depth criticisms. What's actually left after the laughter stops is a flawless illustration of humor as truth-telling. Not only did Handler get some zingers, but she also revealed Trump's core weaknesses, which make him particularly unfit for public office. And how did our former president react when he was made fun of? Just as Handler had anticipated. Trump went to his Mar-a-Lago getaway after her performance to mope and perhaps write a predicted angry tweet about radical leftist bum Chelsea Handler. Like clockwork, the man demonstrated that he finds jokes offensive, particularly when they are too personal. This explains why comedians like Handler have developed into such successful political analysts. They break through the clutter with humor, using Trump's own words and actions against him in ways that regular news coverage just cannot. Our Orange ex-president is still caught in his never-ending cycle of indignation, which makes him the ideal punchline for his own depressing joke, while Handler departs with new material and tremendous applause.